are so fucking back.
That's magic. That's
We're on a ship that flies and flies and flies and flies.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Trip Through Time. As time goes by, memories never die. Today's guest is as OG as it gets. Been seeing Pretty Lights since 2009 and one of the founders of the PLF. I'm extremely excited to welcome Jess MC. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge pleasure. Definitely need to get more of the women in the community involved. So I couldn't be more excited to have you on, given everything you've done.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
For sure. Yeah, why don't you kind of just run us through your beginning journey of getting into this music? How did it start?
Yeah, so I basically discovered Pretty Lights in 2009 with a group of friends. We were on a road trip to the mountains in Boone, North Carolina, and we were in the car. We were elevated, let's say that. The energy was elevated. And my friend put on the song. And as soon as it started, I was like, who is this? And he goes, Pretty Lights. And I'm like, Pretty Lights. And at first I thought, like, it's actually kind of a silly name.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, okay. But by the end of the song, I was like fully in love.
Yeah.
And the song was finally moving. I know, cliche, but it hit me. And I was like, I've never felt music like this, like emotionally before.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me that he's like, yeah, it's Pretty Lights, and they're actually playing a show in Carborough, which is where I was living at the time. I think like in a month or something. And I was like, awesome, sold. And he played like a few more tracks, and I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to this show. So that was like me discovering it. And then that first show a couple months later was in 2009 at Cat's Cradle in Carborough, North Carolina.
That's awesome. So are you from North Carolina? Is that where you grew up?
Originally, I'm from Ohio. After I graduated high school, I moved down to North Carolina. And that's kind of, I claim North Carolina because
Gotcha.
most of my life I've been there.
Yeah. I was going to say, I pick up on accents a lot, and I didn't really hear the South in you. So
Yeah. You'll hear the North come out a little bit more sometimes.
Yeah. So 88 shows roughly in 15 different states.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think a lot of us kind of came up in the 2011, 2012 range, but just I think you've really seen it, go through all these stages and just evolve, which is awesome, especially to be a part of the community from the start is really something that not a lot of people can really claim. So it's really sweet. What type of music were you into before then?
I've kind of always been into like all genres. My mom was like Concrete Blonde, Madonna, Metallica. My dad was like AC/DC and Eminem and like different rock and country artists. My stepdad, though, I think I kind of want to credit my stepdad for getting me into like electronic music. He showed me Daft Punk
Oh, wow.
and Fatboy Slim and I mean weird and obscure artists that I never had heard of because like they weren't like Metallica or AC/DC or Led Zeppelin, right? They were like, kind of different. So yeah, my stepdad was the one that introduced me into electronic music, and I'd say Daft Punk is probably where my electronic music kind of interest came from, I guess. So like basically I went to the my first show in 2009, and I think I went to like a couple other shows in North Carolina somewhere, and I had a group of friends that, like a loose group of friends, I guess, that also liked Pretty Lights, but they were more into just like the festival scene.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh, well, Pretty Lights is going to be at All Good. And this was in 2011.
Yeah.
And that was my very first Pretty Lights festival, like music festival. I've been to like other little, like kind of local music festival type things, but never like a big official music festival. So that would have been not only my first Pretty Lights music festival, but my first like big music festival I've ever been to, and like camping and whatnot, like all out festival. And yeah, I was super excited for that.
Yeah. Okay. So that actually just made me remember something. I had a friend who went to All Good, and that's when I first started really hearing about festivals and all. Like, I just couldn't really wrap my head around the whole concept. Like, wait, you camp there, and it's like that big of a
Yo,
party?
same,
Yeah. And he
same.
said he would not stop talking about Pretty Lights playing country roads at All Good in West Virginia.
That was his debut. When he debuted Country Roads, and that was like, oh my god, it was so awesome. It was so fucking cool. I was like, this is amazing. Because, like I said, my dad like was really into country music and stuff. So, it was the genre bending of it all is like I really feel like that's what really draws me to it.
For sure. Yeah, no. So before that, I saw you had a handful of other ones in North Carolina. So your fifth one being All Good.
Yeah, 2011, All Good. It was awesome. I had never been to a music festival like that. I'd never been like camping like that, and I went for Pretty Lights mostly. Obviously, I rode up there with a group of friends that I barely knew, but I had my like brand new fancy camera, and like I was on a mission to document everything because Pretty Lights, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um and I just like I was in it. I was like the music, the crowd, everything was alive. And I had my camera in my hand, and I was going through the crowd and taking pictures of stuff. And I ended up like, I hear this guy in the crowd, and he's like, Maui Wowie here, get your Maui Wowie here. And I'm like, dope. I like Maui Wowie. So I go over to this guy, and it's like this tall dude from Philly, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And so we ended up hanging out during the set, and he saw I was trying to get pictures. So he's like, do you want me to like shoulder you so you can get a good view? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So he was like holding me up, and I'm taking pictures. I actually have a picture that somebody else took of me, like of the crowd, and you can see me like above the crowd with this stupid little like one of those glow stick hats with my camera, like taking
Yeah.
pictures of the stage. It's hilarious. But yeah, him and I like hit it off and ended up spending the rest of the weekend together. And it was weird because he, at the festival, accepted a job in North Carolina,
Oh
even
wow.
though he lived in Philly. And I was like, huh, small world. So the festival was awesome. It ended, and he was like, hey, I'm going to North Carolina anyways. Why don't you come with me to Philly, pack up my apartment, and I'll take you back down to North Carolina with me? And I was like, sure. I was a freelance makeup artist at the time. So I like build my own schedule and stuff, and I
Mm-hmm.
had no obligations. So I was like, sure. Um, and we hit the road. His friend that was also from the area, like from his area, rode with him, and then like rode down with him, and then rode up with us. And that's when the accident happened.
Oh no.
He was driving, um, and I was in the passenger seat, and um, he fell asleep driving. It was weird because I kept waking up thinking we were crashing, but we weren't. And I think it happened like 3 times where I like woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, we're crashing. But everything was fine.
Damn.
Um, but then I woke up again and we were crashing. And we flipped like down the road end over end and then landed upside down and like spun down the highway.
Well, you flipped forward.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We flipped. They said that it flipped sideways first because he overcorrected, and then it flipped end over end and landed
Uh-huh.
upside down and then spun down the highway.
Oh
Yeah, I have pictures of the vehicle,
yeah.
and you
Oh
could see
my
the little
god.
crumpled area that I was in.
Oh my
And my feet were on the dash, so don't do that. But yeah, my shit got fucked up, and I was in the hospital for like a month. It was brutal. They discovered that I had brain hemorrhaging um, because my occipital bone was fractured, and I had like a concussion and everything. And my foot was really messed up, but they said that my foot actually may have been what saved my life because had they not scanned my whole body because of my foot, they may not have caught the brain bleed, and that can actually be like more dangerous and more deadly. So they actually had to put me in an induced coma for almost a week and wait for the brain hemorrhaging to stop. And they were going to have to do brain surgery, but they ended up not since my brain stopped bleeding on its own, apparently.
god.
So that was good. So I got out of my coma and I was in the hospital at Hershey Medical Center. They had to life flight me there actually. And
Oh, so this is all in Pennsylvania.
yeah, and then
Gotcha.
they transferred me from Hershey to Duke in North Carolina, and I was there for yeah I think about a month, because then a month later I was like I need pretty lights in my life. So when they cleared me from bed rest and I was able to like leave the house, I was looking for the next show in my area that I could go to. And one of my friends, he also loved Pretty Lights. Um, so he was like, yeah, I think they're doing a show in Asheville in like September. And so we went there, pain meds, wheelchair, everything, the whole
Mhm.
shebang,
Wow.
rolled my ass in there, and I had an amazing time. I don't remember like every single detail, but I remember it was awesome. Oh wait, I do remember we got a flat tire on the way up there, and that
Hmm.
was it was I think we were late to the show because of it, but whatever. It
Yeah.
was still awesome. Um, and worth it. It was
Yeah.
worth it.
Wow. I mean, shoot. I'm really sorry you went through that. That's got to be. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I've never went through anything that traumatic. So I commend
You're
you for
lucky. I
yeah.
don't recommend it.
I commend you for getting back out there. I mean, so how was that getting back in cars for you?
I think I have anxiety when other people are driving, but when I'm driving, I'm fine.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah, that is insane. So everyone else, did you get the most of the injuries? I take it, or
Unfortunately.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, nobody else was hurt at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked up because like technically um the passenger I think is the most vulnerable. Given the driver is often saved by the makeup of the car or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy. I actually think I dodged something very similar. I was like living with my buddy. Kind of went through a rough time with my parents when I was younger, so I was living with a friend and his family, and he was. I had this is actually in 2009 in summer, July. So I had we all went up to Milwaukee for Summerfest. But my buddy who I was living with couldn't go because he didn't graduate yet, so he had to take summer classes, and he was driving this really tiny old car, and he drove home drunk and on his street hit a tree, and he was in induced coma for a month. He shattered his whole like face. He had reconstructive surgery, and I probably would have been with him. So
Oof.
had I not gone, and it was so yeah. So it's weird. I mean, we all get in cars every day, and we don't realize like
Yeah, man, they're
yeah,
dangerous.
and we're so vulnerable as like the human body. So yeah, it's crazy. I'm really happy you were able to make it out of that, and
Yeah,
obviously,
me too. It could have been way worse. I'm glad it wasn't my face or my
yeah,
hands,
yeah.
that got messed up because I don't know. People actually don't even notice that like I'm missing part of my foot.
Oh
Like
no,
I tell
really?
people about it and they're like, "Oh wow, I didn't even realize," because you wear socks and shoes and stuff most of the time.
Uh-huh.
So, and
So
I have
did
like a
you?
little bit of a pimp limp,
Yeah,
but not too
gotcha.
bad.
So did they amputate part of your foot or something like that,
Yeah,
or?
man, they like basically it got like crushed and just like
Yeah,
it literally looked like I stepped on like a landmine or something.
yeah,
Like it
yeah.
was just
Wow.
and they cut off part like basically my the first two toes like and like half of my foot. They were just not salvageable. And it was crazy because I lost consciousness several times, but I remember regaining consciousness while they were wheeling me into the hospital and they were talking about amputating my leg from the knee down. And I like woke up and I tried to sit up and they were like pushing me down. They're like, calm down, calm down. I'm like, absolutely not. You are not cutting my leg off. I started lifting my leg up and like moving it around. I'm like, my leg is fine. I can still move my leg. Don't cut it off. Call my mom. Like, like you did not have my permission.
Hmm.
And so they didn't, luckily, but they wanted to, man. And it happened in July. So it was like July 18th. It was 3 a.m. So like all the shift changes and whatnot. Um, it was chaos and it was such a complex injury that they had to like pull specialists from each department, right? So it was like I had skeletal damage, I had circulatory damage, like my arteries and veins and whatnot were fucked up, like all
Yeah.
my
Wow.
muscles, my tendons and ligaments,
Yeah.
everything was affected by it. So they had to like call in like 4 or 5 different doctors. And July is when residents like I guess cycle through. So like nobody knows who is where and like what's going on. And there was like crazy communication issues, I guess, between the different like specialized departments and stuff. So it was just chaos. But they didn't cut my leg off.
Yeah.
So
Shit.
yay. Um, and when I was transferred to Duke, a plastic surgeon took over my case and he saved my foot. And he is like my hero. Um, and he actually, I heard he still uses my case and all the pictures from it in lectures that he did, like undergraduate or graduate
Oh,
lectures that he still does. So it's like my little legacy,
yeah. Pun intended.
right?
Oh man. Yeah. Wow. That is, man. It's crazy how that became, something. Obviously, I wish you didn't go through that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, um, in some way, it's been passed on, for something to learn from in the medical field. So
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully. And I really just hope he tells people to not put their feet on the dash. That's the biggest
I'm
thing.
glad you said that because I do that shit. If my wife's driving, I definitely like relax and like yeah, it's great. Again, you don't really like the human body's so like delicate. So
Yeah, but it's also resilient.
yeah, no, I mean yeah, and the way it can heal itself like naturally in some ways is wild. I mean, yeah, this is back to my buddy who actually crashed July like 3rd. So that's like right around of
Weird.
2009. Yeah, so his like he smashed his face on the steering wheel. So and it was fucked up. I saw him like hours later and his head was like this big from the swelling, but like and his cartilage of his nose was just the only thing. It was just like nothing. But had had he been a couple, like another centimeter, whatever the measurement was, that would have been brain damage. But he it was just like his whole face, basically from his eyebrows to his jaw, is like reconstructed.
Jeez.
Yeah, crazy.
He's okay though, right?
Yeah, no, he's okay. I mean, we don't really, we kind of lost touch over the years. Not really into pretty lights or anything, but I moved to California, but he's definitely good, and he stopped like drinking after that, which is good to see, you know taking something and learning from it and everything.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
but yeah, wow, I mean, thanks for sharing that. It was
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
really, I mean, obviously it ties into your pretty light story, and I'm just happy that
Definitely.
you're able to get to shows. And were you in like the handicapped areas or anything like that while you
Yeah, when I was in the wheelchair, I was definitely in the handicapped area. I think I only
were?
went to like one show while I was in a wheelchair, and then the rest of them, I think I did crutches. But
Mhm.
I actually, I know I did. I definitely brought my crutches to rail a few times.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I
Trooper,
was like,
dude.
yeah,
That's
I'm like,
amazing.
I'm not missing it. I'm not.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't. It gives me
that's great.
life.
During that recovery time, what were some things that got you through it?
Yeah, definitely a good support system for sure.
Yeah.
Um, really, honestly, music. The music, it's. I think what year did he release We Must Go On? I think it was 2013, right?
Yeah, I feel like it was a single. Oh, well, actually, I thought it came out. I think it was like 2012 or
Was it
2011 because,
2012?
yeah, because I
It
remember
wasn't
like
2011.
probably 2012 because yeah, I remember I started to see him in 2012, and I for sure remember him playing it. If I'm not mistaken, at
I think it was
Counterpoint.
20,
Yeah,
2000, yeah,
because then
2012.
Color Map 2013. But
Yep.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he played it in at Counterpoint 2012, which you were at.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, that's got to be a song to keep on keeping on through those like tough,
Yeah.
dark
That was
times.
definitely my anthem.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the people and the music really what got me through everything. Um, it led me to seek out more like-minded people. Um, and I think that's when so 2000 or early to maybe it was 2000 late 2011 early 2012 um, they released the app, the Pretty Lights app.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just like a little, oh, here's our website and here's our merch and here's some music. It was all of that plus like a chat system, right? So you could like talk to other people, other fans and stuff, and connect with other people. And that was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. And I met Jessica and Robbie on this app, and I realized that Jessica she lived in Greensboro, which was right by where I lived in North Carolina. And we were like, we need to add each other on Facebook, dude. Because we both love Pretty Lights that
Mm-hmm.
much. Obviously we have to be best friends.
Yeah.
So we did. We added each other on Facebook. A amazing friendship blossomed from that. Me, her, and Robbie all like connected super heavy over Pretty Lights and everything, and we decided to start the Pretty Lights family group on Facebook. Um, we kind of wanted, because the app's awesome, but we wanted to make sure that um, it kept going and we could bring it to like a bigger platform, because obviously the app is no longer, unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
but I still have it on my phone as like a little nostalgic
Yeah. Yeah.
tile.
Yeah.
I never want to delete it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we made the Facebook page, um, and I'm glad that we did, because the app isn't there anymore. So
Yeah.
and it started out pretty small because it was just a few of us from the app. Me, Robbie, Jessica, I think Jay Simons, um, Johnny Garcia, Jasmine Sanchez, like just a few, just maybe like 50 or 60 people that were
So,
on the app that came
so
over to
they
the Facebook.
It's heavily East Coast then, huh?
I think
Like,
so.
yeah. Is Robbie from
Yeah.
North Carolina or is he?
He's from Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because also, like, you know how like Pretty Lights isn't like as big in certain areas of the country, and I feel like it's like Colorado, Chicago, and then like the Southeast and like the Upper East, like East Coast. But like in California, it's really hard. Like I think lately, I'm starting to get more people like say like Nice Hat and things like that, but it like in the hiatus when I was still living out here, it was like difficult to find people who've even heard of it.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. But that's just yeah. I think whenever I definitely went to festivals in like Georgia and like a lot of shows down in like Louisiana and Tennessee and stuff like that, and it definitely felt like a big hub there for sure.
Georgia, I think is more poppin' as far as the music scene than North Carolina. So I think that's one of the things that like made me so excited to find Jessica. Because like Greensboro, there's nothing going on in that area. Like Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem, there's not really anything. I mean, Charlotte sometimes. I think Asheville is the biggest hub for music and stuff in North Carolina, but that's in the mountains. It's like 3 hours away. So her being literally 15 minutes down the road from me was like, yep, we're best friends
That's
now.
awesome. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah. So you said it was pretty slow early on. I mean, from there, as I'd just probably say, if I'm not mistaken, it probably peaked in like 2012, and just in terms of like the new fans joining the group, right? I mean, I don't know what the numbers are like since the return, but I mean, again, a lot of people I've talked to have said that they got into it around 2011, 2012, 2013. I know like that's when
Yeah,
I joined the group, and like that's when, if from my perspective, it was less platforms. There wasn't Instagram, there wasn't all these other things.
right,
I think that was the sole place for people to connect. And on top of that, the pins and things being made, and then also people not having these resources like the YouTubes and the fucking live streams to that. That was where people sent videos and talked about it and everything like that.
right.
So would you say that's probably accurate in terms of
Yeah,
just yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah,
It definitely started off small, but still we were just so deeply connected, and we all just felt like this is our music. And it started to grow, but it was I felt like more than just a fan group. It was like a space where like-minded people could like communicate and connect with one another. um and we started using the group to plan like meetups at these shows and stuff. And um I think the real turning point is like when it started to really feel like a family was probably Counterpoint. And I think that's when like most of the energy shifted and there was like a boom of people joining. Um, because I think there was like no joke, like 20 or 30 of us that met up at Counterpoint. And like it was like a little festival village with all of our tents like in a circle or in that area. And I think Jay Simons, he worked for this like wedding uh tent company and brought like one of those huge like event tents to like for all of us to like put our tents around and then have this common area for all of us to be under. And it was perfect.
yeah.
It was so good.
Shout out Jay. I have his
He's a
I put a
real
spell
one.
on you pin over here, but he's
Yeah.
someone I met at Electric Forest 2013, and I continued to bump into over the years, and I just saw him in Chicago. So it's just like just kind of one of those reoccurring people. And like shout out my friends Nick and Mia. They were also with me, and we were all together in Chicago for a bit at New Year's. So just cool. And I love that, like, over the years, you kind of just see people, and it's literally like that family shit. But
Yeah.
it's funny. Yeah, you reminded me of. I didn't even know what the peel off was, and so like in the 2013, when I really started getting into it, it was like a big secret. Like I felt like it was like that cool
Yeah.
kid. It was that cool kids club.
It was.
Yeah, and I went up to Grammatic, and I went up to I'm from the Chicago area, so I went up to Madison, Wisconsin, to go see the Grammatic and shit. And like this kid there was like telling me, "Oh, I can get you in. I can get you in." And he had to like send me the invite. So yeah, it's just funny that it's like, you kind of had to be like, know somebody and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I stopped by, like I said, I met Jay at 2013 eForest, and I think I stopped by your guys. Like, I was like, this is like the fam, you know, like the tent, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's cool, dude.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty tight knit
Yeah.
in those early days because it wasn't really ever supposed to be like this huge group of fans and stuff. It was really just meant for uh us and our group of people to
Hmm.
like plan meetups and stuff. And when people started wanting to join this, um, uh, the biggest challenge was like scammers and shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it sucked like seeing people that that you've partied with, that you've curated a relationship with, and you call family, right? Getting fucked over by some fake Joe Schmo person that just came in and is preying on our peoples, so
Yeah.
that's kind of why we like we kind of closed the doors a little bit on it in the beginning,
Yeah.
and we recruited more admins and stuff. I think Johnny Garcia, again, he was one of the early admins. Khan Korsh, Charlie Char, Derek, Brett, um, and oh, Miguel. Oh, I don't know if have you done interviews with Miguel
I
yet?
want to. I talked to him. He
Dude,
seems
you
super busy. I
have
mean,
to.
yeah, he seems like an encyclopedia
Oh
just
my
of,
God, that's literally how I describe him. He's literally an encyclopedia of Pretty
yeah.
Lights knowledge.
Him and Charles Char, I think those guys are like the most knowledgeable from what I've seen.
Yep, you're not wrong.
Yeah, definitely need all those guys because it's like, especially with this new shit coming up. Um, there's still a lot of like, I can't do it justice. In terms of trying to like, I definitely want someone to come on and talk about like all this like new shit that's about to pop off
Yeah.
at Sea of Dreams and fucking Elements. So, that's yeah, that's wild. So real quick, I actually was like, I listened to the Almost Familiar podcast with Whit Hawkins, and he mentioned about there was like some a book written about unsolved murders on the Grateful Dead tours and stuff like that. So it's
Hmm.
just like, unfortunately, like scenes like this can be taken advantage of from really fucked up
Yeah,
people.
man.
So like, it's like, oh, community, and like, oh, kind of like people open their arms more so than they would with like just strangers. And I mean, especially just for me, like whenever I run into people out here and I realize I got to tone it down a little bit because not everybody is as big of a fan as I am. They might say, oh, nice have, but not like be, and I'm like, already trying to like establish a relationship on some point, like be like, yeah, dude, we should like let's do a live stream or something like that. And
Hmm.
everyone's, they're not as, into it. And you got, obviously you got to like just see if it develops there. But again, I'm very like open to people in this. But yeah, like you're saying, people could just be like, all right, I'm gonna get in here and kind of totally take advantage of people's generosity. So
Yep. Yeah, and
yeah.
that's what happened. So, we got more admins in, and we created a couple more rules. I think Facebook, they started doing the questionnaires and stuff to answer before you join groups and stuff. So we got those figured out. I think Robbie was like, I hmm, was it just Rob? I don't know. Anyways, we decided that one of the rules was going to be like, all right, you pretty much have to be invited by a person at a show to get into this group. Because what really happened was, and I think I heard Ethan mention this on his episode, a tie. Have
Oh,
you heard that name?
that was Brandon. Yeah.
Okay, okay, it was
Yeah,
Brandon.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean it would be because Brandon with his pins and everything.
yeah. And I
Yeah,
totally
this
forgot about
guy,
it. I totally forgot about him. And then like, I'm like, oh my god, that's so like that was such a big thing. Yeah. So
he's like the Voldemort of our community, I swear to God. Because I mean
yeah,
this dude like came in and scammed so many people. He ripped off so much like art and stuff, and like he was like a shitstorm in the community. And I think that's really why we put our guard up afterwards and like made these rules and started doing these questions and stuff, because we were like, this, anybody could be doing this. And he actually ended up, because we made the group private and it wasn't even searchable at one point. You had to like get a link from somebody within the group in order to just see the group at all. Like even not you couldn't see the contents of the group. You could just see that the group was on Facebook and you needed a link directly to it. So when a tie got banned, he ended up making his own Pretty Lights family group. And
What a
yeah, it was like the Facebook PLF
diabolical, dude.
group
Jesus Christ.
B, and it was public. So like everybody that was looking for, and he called it Pretty Lights Family, like the same exact name. So everybody that was looking for Pretty Lights Family ended up joining this B group because they couldn't get into the actual Pretty Lights Family group on Facebook. And it had like 10,000 or 12,000 people in it by the time we like gave it any attention. Um, and yeah, it had so many people in it. But it's funny because a tie was actually nowhere to be found by that time.
Wow. Fuck.
So
Well, he
yeah,
should. At this point, he's probably pretending to be somebody else. Because I'm thinking you're telling that I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, story's over. They made a new group, but no, this guy goes to the point of starting a fucking whole new thing. Like, you know, it's
tried to
just a
get it
lot.
shut down too. It was
Yeah,
no luck.
that's nuts, man. Holy fuck. Yeah, it's crazy. And again, it's like I said before, not don't have all these other resources or platforms. So like, and like I said, it was like the cool kids crew. So, and you had to get in, but all these people who are new don't even know, just click, boom, you know, all right, I'm in. Here
Yep,
we are.
I'm
Yeah.
in. No,
Yeah.
it's the wrong one.
Yeah. And, you know, early on, I think, you know, you could see it from, which is great. You know, people who are new definitely post more or things like that. It's just so, you know, it's like it's a new car you just got. You want to drive it to
Yeah,
you want to make meaningless trips to the gas station just to be in your
yeah,
new vehicle. So,
for sure.
you know, that is like people are just so excited and then they're willing to be like, oh yeah, let me buy this from you or whatever. Like it's not, your guard isn't up by any means. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I hate to think about how many people got screwed over in that
Yeah.
group because of that. It
Yeah.
sucks. But we did eventually merge groups, so
Oh,
that's
that's cool.
cool.
Right, right on. Oh, sweet. Okay, a little less of a, you know, groundwork to tell people, hey, leave that, come here. And then
Yeah,
on top of that, screen everybody too. Like, yeah,
right.
and make sure. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that was after the hiatus actually.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
is that why they were calling one party lights? And I was like, am I in the right one?
oh
You know?
God, party lights. So no, that's like a tradition that we do.
Okay.
So during tour season,
Oh,
it's party lights,
okay. All right.
and
Okay.
off season, it's Pretty Lights Family.
Oh, okay.
Because it's always a
Sweet.
party when we're touring.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Wow.
Yeah, people, there's so many people that like love and absolutely hate when we do that, and there's no in between.
I mean, hey, if are you a fucking admin and originator of this? Then no. So, you know.
Ah, it's
Last I
fun.
checked,
It's something.
you know, last I checked, when, you know, how did this all start? No, I mean, I think I love nicknames and things like that, and change. You know, I think it's cool. And again, there's a story behind it, is even cooler. So yeah, I'm fine
For
with it.
sure.
Thank you for doing that. You and Robbie and
Yeah.
Jessica and everyone else involved. That's awesome. Very, very cool stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, we didn't mean for it to blow up. It was just like a little, this is our group of people that we're gonna hang out with and meet up at shows and stuff.
Yeah,
And it blew up. And now it's like, it's something really fucking cool and
yeah,
special to be a part of. I love the community. I love watching it do
yeah,
its thing. It's super special.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and I mean, again, to the cool kids thing, I've been around this stuff, but I kind of stayed in my clique. I think I was a little more shy, and then especially, like I said early on, you may post some things, and I think, you know, you may get checked once in a while. I think that happened to me before, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna lurk back in the shadows a little bit, and I wish
eh,
I put myself out there a little more. you know, and just like, but you know, that's what I'm doing now. So, and I'm happy to do it. And it's like, it's cool that I've gotten to know all these people through this, and I'm just having fun with it. So yeah, to that, thank you for doing this. It's awesome getting to know all these things. So yeah, I wanted to mention too, you know, creations and crafts within the community. Obviously, those were huge back then. I mean, still are, but you had done those flags, so that's really cool.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there was a video like one of the YouTubes, and like there was someone on the rail like flight waving
I'm
it.
sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
and I
That's like my favorite thing to see.
yeah, no, it's so cool, and it reminds me of, like, sports games because they kind of throw the towels around like a little bit. But my buddy, one of my best friends, I was mentioning how I was going to have you on, and he was like, "Oh yeah, didn't she make those flags or something?" So, and I'm like, "Oh
That was
shit,
me.
yeah, yeah,
I made those. Robbie, Jessica, and I were actually living together in Boone for a while, and I decided to like silk screen them. I made like a handmade silk screen print thing. I had never done that before, but
mhm,
I'm an artsy bitch, so I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like, yeah, I'll try it. And I made the silk screen, and I started like hand printing these like little flags and stuff. And I think I have a picture of like a Tupperware bucket with like hundreds of flags in it, and like our little kitten who we named Samso,
no,
uh,
cool,
buried in these flags and stuff.
mhm,
And I made them just for us at first, and then bringing them to shows and whatnot. People were like, "Oh, those are fucking awesome!" And I was like, "You're fam, take one."
yeah,
And I started like, I obviously posted them on the Facebook group, and everybody was like, "Those are fucking dope." And it's cool because they were like a little beacon for our community, and I was giving them out to people and sending them to people, and bringing them to shows for people to pick up and stuff. And it was like a way to meet the group members and our family members and stuff, and also pick them out in, they didn't do live streams, but pictures. Obviously there was a lot of pictures, and I'd
mhm,
go through and be like, flags is spam.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have their, you know, you immediately think, like for instance, Brandon. When I obviously you think the Pretty Lights live, but my first reaction when I think Brandon is the band stage pins that he made and things like that. Just some of those iconic things. So it's cool that everyone, like, people just have that. You know, of course you're known for all that stuff, but you know, especially just the fact that I said your name and then someone associated with the flags. It's like really cool. So.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I still love seeing it. And I mean, some people post that like, "Oh, I just found this flag," and I'm like, throwback, that's awesome. Some people even bring them to shows still, and I'll see them every once in a while. Somebody will have like their flag like safety pinned to the back of their camelback or something, or like tied around their belt loop or something, and I'm like, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, if you got any
So
extras, I would love one.
I know I'm trying to find, I think I might have like two or three somewhere. I think they're in storage. I
Yeah,
gotta find them. And I know I have fabric, and I still have the silk screen. I really want to do like another
yeah,
run.
yeah,
So we'll see. We'll see. I keep saying
yeah,
that, but I'm gonna do it someday. Someday
yeah,
I'll do
yeah.
it for
No, I know life is hard, but if you do, no rush. Just
sure. For sure. Absolutely.
definitely would
Yeah, I
love to
got you. I
take one
got
for
you.
sure. All right, cool. Well, then, yeah, I think we kind of touched on this already. I was saying shows and community in the early days, like, you know, what the scene was like. And then did you see any shows with Corey? If those were something, just, you know, kind of seeing how it went,
Yeah.
you know, just from like the eras of it, you know, leading through.
In 2009, that my first
Yeah.
show at Cat's Cradle, definitely. And then those first few shows, Corey was with him. It was his
Mhm.
drummer for those
Yeah.
first few shows, but I think it was only like three or four, because he wasn't. I don't think Corey was at All Good. It was just Derek's solo
Yeah.
set.
And I
So
feel like that was the start of that really big festival circuit era.
yeah,
And that was just solo Derek, you know, when he
yep,
was like playing, you know, like all these big shows. And like, especially before it blew up to where it was, you know, it went from a time where these guys would share festival lineups together to a point when it was only one of them, like Bass Nectar, Pretty Lights, Skrillex. Like you couldn't, it was really tough to get multiple of them, let alone Counterpoints lineup to get all that. Like, I think, you know, I still tell people about that to this day, and they like don't, you know, they're not aware of it. And just like, the fact that all those artists were on one bill, and especially doing Skrillex and Pretty Lights like back to back, like, really epic.
Yep. Those festivals were peak
Yeah.
times for sure.
Which another one reminded me, and I totally forgot about this because I remember seeing the like the online promotional artwork, but with your friends in
Oh my God.
Nashville.
That was so awesome. That
Yeah.
was so awesome. Ah, that was amazing. And
Yeah. And
then
it
we
was
went
like,
with like a bunch of fans.
because that was shortly after, like close to Counterpoint, right? It was like that
Hmm.
fall. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
Illumination tour.
One of them anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember seeing it was like a cartoon of like all the artists on this thing. It's like Skrillex
It was
12th
like a
Planet, I think,
like a
and
ferry. I think they were on like
yeah,
a boat, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Super
Yep.
cool. I see it, and like that's some stuff where I wish back then. I mean, obviously you get into it how you do. I wish I just kind of was like chased it more because there was so much more of that at my grasp.
It's funny because I that's kind of how I am now in
Yeah.
my ripe old age. I'm kind of like, well, I'm doing this, so but you know what? The streams are really what helps because the FOMO was like so bad back in the day.
Oh, for sure.
So now the streams alleviate that some.
Yeah. No, I've talked about that with people a lot. It was
Yeah.
definitely like you just had to be there, and when you just saw a couple of videos and stuff on Facebook and people talking about it and then set list, and you're like, damn, dude. But I mean, obviously, I can't. I got married and I have a kid on the way, so it's like even if I
Right.
wanted
Life,
to,
man.
I can't. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's definitely, again, I think that a lot of us in the era that it was coming up, kind of that same Grateful Dead, Mind State, Deadheads and people with Fish and things like that. Just that, going to chase it and stuff like that is really, I don't know, probably something that is dying these days. With new bands and things like that. I don't know.
I don't think it's dying. I just
Well,
think
not in our community. I think maybe in generations to come with things like that.
maybe I don't know. I don't want it to, so I'm in
No, me
denial
neither.
about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm having dreams about my daughter being like into music and things like that. So
Oh,
yeah, I'm definitely trying to preach this type of stuff. So
that's
uh,
awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So throughout that time, when did Illuminator start, and how's your involvement been?
So Illuminators started in 2013.
Yeah,
So pretty quickly after the page was created, Jason Shepard and a few people he ran with, Anita and Andrew, they created the Illuminators program, and it was pretty simple. Uh, Show up early, stay sober, and help the people in the crowd be safe, have fun, stay hydrated. Um, and me being such a lover of the community, was like immediately gravitated towards that program. So Jessica and I, when he put like this call out for volunteers, Jessica and I were like, pick us,
yeah,
so we got into it and it was awesome. I was able to like use my flags for a couple of the Illuminators projects that we did, because a lot of the volunteers will bring their own little projects. They will create art or um, like memorabilia, or even like little games and stuff to bring to the shows to like interact with the crowd and people, or just give things out for people to keep, and like remember the show with and stuff. So yeah, I brought my flags. I think I don't even remember how many times I illuminated. I know I did base lights several times. I'm pretty sure I did Red Rocks a couple times and a couple other shows. Maybe 5 or 6 times I illuminated or I volunteered for the Illuminators. But it was awesome every single time. It was a blast. It was cool because in the early days we actually got to meet Derek, and he would like come by our little area or come by the merch booth where the volunteers kind of were congregated after the show, and or even before the show sometimes. But I think most of the time it was after the show. He'd like come and like give us fist bumps and stuff, and like we'd kind of get to chat a little bit, and that was really really special. Obviously, like now more so, the production is just so much bigger. There's so much more involved aspects and facets of the shows now that I don't think anybody has time to. Everything is really chaotic.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen anymore, but that made those first few times like that much more special to me
Yeah.
anyways.
So there was, I didn't realize it was a team run, like an organized thing. And then, so, well, I mean, I guess now it's like jogging my memory, but I remember seeing it was like almost an application process, right?
Yeah, so Jason, I mean, he's a fan just like the rest of us, right? He didn't work with management or anything. He didn't work officially with the team. The Illuminators is like a grassroots, like fan operated um program, and when he put the call out for like volunteers and to start this program, they implemented like an application process. It's basically just like, who are you, where are you from, what, how many Pretty Lights shows have you been to, or like what's your favorite Pretty Lights song, or what does Pretty Lights mean to you, questions like that kind of like, give a sense of like who these people are, what Pretty Lights is to them, and like why they want to be a volunteer for the community and stuff. I think I have I think I have one of my first applications still. I think Jason sent them to me, and I read through them, and I was like, "You nerd." So that was funny to see.
Yeah.
But the application process now I mean, it's probably almost identical.
Yeah.
It's still the same, and we just have people fill it out to just gauge who they are and make sure they're a right fit for the program. And I don't think we've ever turned anybody away. Yeah, if somebody
Yeah.
wants to be a part of it, like hell yeah, because at the end of the day, it is a volunteer program, and you are working. You're working pretty much the whole night. Sometimes now we'll cut the program like halfway through, or if we run out of water, because I think that's like the most important aspect of it, is that like we keep people hydrated.
Yeah.
um Dancing for 4 to 5 hours straight, you're going to get dehydrated, and if we
Hmm.
run out of water, we don't want our volunteers running around trying to help people without water themselves.
Hmm.
And if we don't have water to give out to the crowd, then like we're just kind of standing around like, sorry. And people will come up to us and be like, hey, do you guys have any water? And we're like, sorry, we don't. So we kind of like let them go. And I think that's how it was in the beginning too. If we run out of water or like things to do, we kind of just let people go, or Jason would let the volunteers go and like do their thing for the rest of the night, which
Hmm.
was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I didn't even realize, I guess it wasn't a thing in the first, in the Soundship Space System tour, and then it's come back for Check Your Vector, right? So,
Hmm.
and thinking that all of the things that happen in New Orleans, it's like, wow, definitely, a good place for that program for sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we were kind of scrambled for Check Your Vector. The Hampton show, Jason had been trying to get a hold of Phil and stuff for Soundship Space System. And wait, did I say that right?
Yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister. Yeah,
It is.
Soundship Space System. Yeah, yeah,
So the comeback tour, Jason had reached out to management, and they were still trying to figure their shit out.
yeah.
So we weren't able to get the Illuminators program up and running for that, but for Check Your Vector, they were like, we would love to have the Illuminators back for this tour. Let's do it. And Jason needed help and reached out to Jessica and I, because his old partners kind of just disappeared, and he couldn't get a hold of them. So obviously he can't do the program by himself, and he reached out to us, and we were like, hell yeah, let's do it. And we scrambled to get everything ready for Hampton, but we hit the ground running, and it was like huge success. Again, like we're back, baby.
Yeah.
And it just got better from there. It was very successful, different from what I remember and from what it used to be. But I think everything that we have implemented in the recent tours um, are bigger and better than what how the program used to be ran, and it's like it's very beneficial. I think it's more so beneficial to the community and the crowds at the shows how we do it now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I see they got like stickers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we have like a designated table now, so like people know where to come and find us instead of having to like search through the crowd and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
that's helpful.
Yeah. Again, special thanks to you and everybody else who's been involved with that, given the nature of the shows and everything. It's good to have for people to have a place to go. Mad props. So yeah, and then I guess like going through the rest of the time before the hiatus, you know, any cool stories along the way, especially just the eras kind of, you know, you got the analog future color map era, then you got jam crews and the USBs, and then and then I think a couple short stint of solo sets, and then back to the band with PL Live. And then lastly, I'd like to just see how you felt about Red Rocks 18, and then going, you know, your mood and the whole vibe.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I guess yeah, during that time, I already mentioned the track "We Must Go On." That was huge for me. Um, the music video too. I think that's like
Yeah.
that was when they first started really implementing the music videos
Yeah.
with their
Yeah.
tracks, right? So
Yeah.
that was awesome. That was like got me in my feels with that music video. So that was cool. And then yeah, the analog future era started to take off, and you know it was cool because you could like you could tell that shit was like leveling up, right? He was bringing in New Year, Laser Shark in full force. They were like pushing boundaries, and everything was like this just different temperature and texture. I feel like with the live shows and stuff, it was really cool to see it evolving. Then Color Map, that shit was next level because he was playing these instruments, recording them onto vinyl, and then sampling his own recordings and stuff. And like who does that, right? Who does that? It's like that it was so cool to see.
That's my sample. I composed that and pressed it to vinyl and sampled it
And
myself.
like then he got nominated for a Grammy for it, and it was so awesome. We were like, yeah, that's our boy.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it was so fucking cool. And like I said, like the live shows have just leveled up and evolved, and it was just so awesome to like watch the growth and success of our favorite artists and now band, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, it's an actual band now.
Mhm.
Then fucking Jam Cruise, dude. That I have to show you the picture. I'll have to send it to you because like
Yeah.
um talk about like best moment I've ever known. I was on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean watching Pretty Lights in a fucking hot tub on a balcony.
Dude.
Like there's a picture of me in a
Yeah.
hot tub on a balcony with my arms up, and Pretty Lights is right in front of me, and I'm like peak life right
Yeah.
here. This is amazing. Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was so cool. And it was cool because like, you know, it's a cruise ship. Everybody's right there. The
Yeah.
artists were like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't have anywhere to go, dude. You can't leave. So you're gonna run into each other. And he had like a set every single night. Somewhere on the ship, there was a Pretty Light set. And then some of them were like, I think there was a stage called like the Black and White Room or something. And it was like, there was like maybe enough room for like 200 people to fit in, maybe. Like it was small and it was intimate. I was like, I could see spit dropping from the trombone that
Oh, no
Scott
way.
Flynn was playing. And that's how close I went. I was like standing, you know what I mean? Like I was like right
Yeah.
there. And it
Wow.
was so fucking cool to see. I mean, not spit, but that's how close you are, right?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah, no, it was awesome.
there's like a button. I used to play trumpet for a little, but they
I used to
like
play trombone.
yeah. But I think they either however they do it, you have to like leak it out.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like a little valve. Yeah, man, and like yeah, it was every single night there was a pretty light set, and it was awesome. We got to hang out with them the whole time basically. That's when I met like Beige and Phil, and like actually got to know the management and the band really, and it
yeah.
was awesome, like super special. I have tons of pictures, and yeah, that was unforgettable for
Yeah,
sure.
I wish I went, dude. And I don't, yeah, if I could go back in time, there's a couple things, but especially in my pretty
Right.
lights, it would be like, go to Jam Cruise. Cause I went to San Francisco's New Year's shows. It was still fun. It was great to be at, but my buddy, like one of my longest Pretty Lights friends, he went to Jam Cruise. And I was just like, fuck, dude, I should have went to that. Like, it was just so much more music, and then just again like you said, everyone is in one place, so like it's inevitable, like I'm
Yep.
sure the areas you go and eat and things like that, like
Yep.
just
Exactly.
the common
We
areas.
literally ate, I think, like twice we ate with them.
Yeah.
We're sitting at the same table. Yeah. No. I'm like getting teary eyed because I'm remembering how like fucking awesome and fun that shit was. It was so cool.
I mean, still to this day, anytime if I were to go back and anytime
Right.
anyone brings up Jam Cruise on the thing, I just go like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
fuck,
It's
man.
okay. I miss Red Rocks
I know.
2014.
I actually saw that because that's when I thought your accident originally was. And I was like, because I think you go like literally 365 days. Like you went base
Yeah.
lights to base lights. And I'm like, oh, maybe that was it. But
No.
I mean,
No.
I'd still take, it's tough because that's definitely, I think pre hiatus, that one and Telluride 15 are like and I think Counterpoint, those are like, yeah, I was there type, things. But,
Mhm.
um, yeah,
No, man, I miss the orchestra or the symphony. I miss the
yeah.
symphony at Red Rocks, and that's like I'll never forgive myself.
What was the reason? Just
Life. I was in a shitty relationship and like not doing well mentally and
yeah,
stuff and
gotcha.
physically.
Yeah,
And yeah, I'll never forgive myself. Ever, ever, ever. I'll never forgive
no,
myself because there's
wow,
no fucking streams or anything, right?
yeah,
Like there's no
that's
recordings, there's no streams, there's no nothing.
yeah,
There's just videos that people took on their phones.
yeah. Well, at least
Ah,
you had that Colin Kids recordings and that girl talking the whole time.
yeah, yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so funny.
But yeah, no, shoulda, coulda, woulda. And the only thing that I can say is like there's shit that I did go to, like Jam Cruise and stuff that like I'd say I don't think it doesn't make up for it, but it makes me feel a little bit better at least. I didn't miss everything.
There's cool ones. I think obviously those are iconic ones, but I think some of the which these are things I didn't do because I had it, thinking about it like, oh, I'll just go to this instead of some like the small, like specifically I've talked to people about this too, but that like 2016 tour with like it was episodic shows, but they still had like those one stop tours, especially in like the Pacific Northwest and like
Hmm.
like West Coast and things like that. And I think a lot of people were like, that was kind of like that Deadhead, Grateful Dead shit where everyone was just like, boom, let's go
Yeah.
here, and traveling and like
Yep.
meeting
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
and things like that. So either way, to have been in a hot tub watching PL, I mean, I don't know any other,
Peak PL. It
yeah,
was
for sure.
peak PL.
Yeah, amazing.
For me,
So
anyways. For me.
yeah, no, I mean, like one thing that really, I mean, I loved Pretty Lights when I first started to see it, but when I went to Red Rocks 2013 and the band was playing, and then I went to like they came to Chicago and played like 3 nights and stuff. That's when I was just like, yo, this is amazing. And I just like, especially when they added in They even built more when they had Carnes and Krasno, and then doing the orchestra stuff, and then just those jam crews like things like, and there were so many different layers to it. I know there was like just Borum and Coogan with Derek. I think Derek went up with Preservation Hall Jazz Band for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, just all that, like, to me, like the collaboration and like, the crossovers from, and I think Jesus came up and played with,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, dude, like that's
Yeah,
where I was.
they're always doing like those dope collabs,
Yeah.
and like that he's never gonna stop doing that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you might miss like something really dope, but like I promise you, right around the corner, some other dope shit is about to pop off. Like there's
Exactly.
he can't not be doing something awesome all the time.
Yeah.
Like that's just the type of person he is. He's always like gears always turning. He's always trying to evolve, trying to think of
Yeah.
new, different, dope shit. And
Yeah.
it's that's like a guarantee with this
Yeah.
artist.
In terms of the Pretty Lights metaphorical kitchen, he's throwing out something before the expiration date because he just got a new, carton of
Yeah.
milk to go in the fridge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, which is like, to me, I don't know if I think we'll get to this later, but I think we may be in the early stage of another new era of a live performance, which initially I'm like, no, like, what are we doing? This is so cool right now. But looking back on it, I'm sure I'll be like, that's fine. But especially when the Analog Future thing was ending, and then when they went into Feel Live, and then of course we went to Hiatus, and then now where we're at. And I think looking at it, it seems like it's typically a 2-year ish window for these things that he kind of likes to do. So either way, so after that, anything else, but leading up to Red Rocks 18 that kind of stick out to you over the years?
Not in particular. Honestly, like Red Rocks 2018 was
Oh wait, real quick, I want to ask you, Roseland Ballroom.
oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
dude,
shit.
like I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pull up this set list because I had to take like 4 screenshots because my buddy was at that too, the same one who went to Jam Cruise, and like fucking 5 hours, I think he played new. Like, what the fuck? I mean, and like, yeah, I mean, like for me, Red Rocks 14 was like they played so many songs, like Piano Man and like Better Than I've Ever Been, and like tons of crazy shit. But like, to be there, like, yeah, I mean, talk about that. I mean, that so
Yeah,
okay.
no,
Well,
it was
to your point of like missing 14 Red Rocks, you were at the Rosen Ballroom 2012.
yes.
So
Yeah, and now that place is like it burned down or whatever. Like, oh, that's crazy. But yeah, I'm so grateful that I got to experience it. We drove in there in my car. We drove up to New York City to go to this show, and it was fucking, oh my God, it was crazy. I had never driven in New York City at that point. So getting there was like insane. But once we did, I cried. I was so relieved to be done driving.
oh, I bet.
So yeah, no, we got there and we got in line, and I think we were like a few of us were. I gotta look back at the pictures, but like we were like the first people in line, and we were waiting out in the cold, all bundled up, and we got in there, and it was awesome. So many dope tracks. Like I can't tell you a Pretty Light show that I didn't cry at least a few tears. But that one was like, it was happy tears like the whole time. It was so awesome. Yeah, I'm grateful that I was able to make those shows happen.
Yeah.
I think I was with Jessica and Robbie then too. And yeah, no, that shit was awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Another one I wish was on a stream somewhere. Damn.
Yeah. No, I mean, if we could have a lot of these ones from back in the day just to go back and again, high quality, without, I mean, I think it's still cool and so totally part of it, like the early stages of how the recordings and how they evolved. But, and I don't think if people weren't doing that, then maybe, I don't know, maybe the team wouldn't be as motivated to provide this stuff for us. I don't know, just knowing,
that's true.
But yeah, it's definitely some things that if I could go back in time and just like take a look at it, and not only it's just, I mean, it's funny how the change of the fads and things like that, like people aren't, putting up as many pins on their hats anymore. It's just like you said, you had a fucking glow stick hat in, you know,
That all good. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like that was still like rave, like, you know, like
Yeah, like
just being,
candy and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's funny.
There was definitely, I feel like there was definitely some glow sticks. There almost always is at every like New Year's show, just because a lot of
Oh yeah,
locals that don't even really necessarily know the band will go to these shows because
for
like,
sure.
you know, they just got tickets somehow. So it's not like the Pretty Lights people or the Pretty Lights family every single time 100%. Um, but yeah, no, I'm gonna tell you this though. It was so fucking cold. Like a lot of people were just bundled the fuck up instead of dressing up fun and cool and stuff because that was I remember it being very very cold.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. I think like there's always going to be like glow sticks and stuff, but I think it's pretty lights. Like there's enough lights and shit
Yeah,
going on that
for
not
sure.
too many people are going to be bringing that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, remember
Um,
people were gloving,
oh
you
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah. No, I
like
remember that.
the
I
light
remember
up
being like,
blue. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, you know, especially at festivals, like, and you know,
oh yeah,
of course, Prius doesn't like play. I mean, but I don't even think this is a thing anymore. Maybe at like more of the like maybe the Bonnaroos and like things like that or
oh
whatever.
yeah, for sure.
But like the totems and things, and obviously
Hmm.
they exnate that in our community after putting it on the screen.
Yep.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just like but yeah, like as far as glow sticks, it was like of course there's gonna be some for like maybe tossing shit up or whatever, but like it was a thing where people like I remember friends saying like, oh, we gotta get glow sticks. Let's go to the dollar
Oh
store.
yeah,
You know?
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. For like regular shows or like raves or whatever,
yeah.
that was like it was a non-negotiable. You have to go to the dollar store and get like 50 packs. I remember going to like paint shows and like foam shows and shit. Do you
Oh
remember?
yeah.
Like gross as fuck. Gross
Yeah.
as fuck.
Like Steve Aoki shit, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, no, there wasn't any cake, but
Yeah, but you
yeah,
know, like
no,
that vibe or whatever. Fucking
definitely that vibe.
yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like for me it was different just because like those little like pop-up shows and raves were there. They don't have like tens and thousands of dollars worth of lights going on like Pretty Lights did. So the light distractions weren't anything. At Pretty Lights it's like if somebody puts their glove fingers in my face, I'm gonna be like, bro,
Yeah,
please.
for
Uh,
sure.
it's
Yeah.
cool. Like it's cool. I've seen people do shit that's like fucking
Yeah.
dope. Like it's an art for sure. But I did pay for this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you know, I think a lot of what people were doing back then was more catered to that, you know, in terms of like party substances and things like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Uh,
They were definitely more elevated,
yeah.
like artificially
Yeah,
at
yeah, for
shows.
sure. And I think we've all matured. You know what's funny? And I was kind of like, fuck this guy. But like, so last weekend I got a couple of jobs. One's at a bar, and it's a very busy one on the weekends. But like, I started wearing I dedicated one of my jibs to wearing it there just because, you know, I'm working. Before I'm like, I don't want to fuck them up. But like, again, like I was saying, it's hard to find people. And I feel like, fuck it, I'm just going to wear this so like I can, you know, make some connection. So this one guy, he's from Colorado, and he said, he's like talking about, he just mentioned it and then talking about Buena Vista. And I'm like, oh, are you going? He's like, no, I'm going to the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard show, which is shortly after that, like a month or so. He's like, I'm too old for Pretty Lights now. And I'm like, the fuck does that mean, dude? Like, you know what I
All
mean?
of us
Like,
are old.
I know, like, yo, I'm fucking
We're
34. Like,
all old
and
now.
I know people who are much, I mean, I know people like that I've just, I mean, seen, you know, that are far more. I mean, yeah, age doesn't mean anything, and I don't like what the fuck.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like that's yeah, but yeah, back to it. We've all matured for sure. It's definitely, and I think a lot of people, especially people I knew, like friends, you know, I only have a couple of friends that are still like into it, but like early on, again, it was the thing to do, like festivals and things like that. And like people liked Pretty Lights because it was like one of the bigger names. But in terms of the people who've stuck around into these ages of our life, you know, we're all big fans of it. So it
For
has nothing.
sure.
So, okay. But yeah, let's go to, unless you got anything else leading up to, but Red Rocks 18, just feelings leading up to it, if you want to get any of that.
Man, that shit hit different for sure. There was like this undercurrent that we couldn't ignore because of the rumors surrounding retirement, right? And it was like, no, obviously you don't want to believe that, but kind of feeling that like it might be true and this might be it. It might be the last Pretty Lights show ever. It was heavy, man. It was sad, and obviously, like, well, first of all, I'm not gonna miss it. If there's any rumors at all that this might be a retirement show, there's no way like my dad could be getting married or like, so, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that's gonna happen that's gonna make me miss this show if it's gonna be the last Pretty Lights show. It's just not. So, going in, everybody was obviously excited and happy and everything, but knowing that it could possibly be the last one because of these retirement rumors, there wasn't a dry eye in that stadium, like, or amphitheater.
What were like the rumor? Like, what do you know why? Or
it was just the whispers going around on the page and everything that like, yeah, this is might be the retirement show.
No reason like wants to settle down. He's burnt out. Nothing.
All of the things, right?
Yeah,
all of the things, dude. I was in such a dark fucking place after the hiatus or after Red Rocks 2018.
Yeah.
I was not okay, man. I didn't listen to music for a full year when Pretty Lights left.
Same.
I couldn't.
I only listened to podcasts. Like I couldn't listen to music.
That's what I did too. Murder podcast, true crime. That's all. So I drove to and from work in complete silence.
Yeah.
Like complete, and I didn't even think about it. I was just like almost robotic. It was sad, man. It was super sad. There was like a void inside me that like, sure. I don't want to listen to music. I don't want to listen to anything that reminds me of Pretty Lights at all. Like that might make me think of it because it's just sad now because nobody knew, like there was these retirement rumors and everything, and when he left he was just kind of like, bye. He didn't explain anything.
No answers.
And then like radio silence, and then he cleared his Instagram and we were like, this is it. That was it. It's over. And like there was literally a piece of my soul was just ripped out and I had no hope left. Nothing to look forward to, no shows, no rumors, no music, no nothing.
It was like your dad just left, you know? Like, so like I was upset. I was pissed. Like I was fucking, like, I was like, I've seen 36 shows in 5 years and there's no answer.
Right.
Like, come on.
Nothing.
Like just tell us like, I don't like, I don't know when, if I may come back, I may not, but just like, yo,
something, anything.
And I was,
please,
I was just
please,
like,
Papa.
and not like us as fans. I think sometimes people can like, which I found myself in some scenarios doing, like, you kind of feel like you're owed something where,
entitled,
but
like, we're not,
but in this case, I think people like yourself and anyone else who's been like just this into it, like, it kind of hurt, dude.
Oh, it was definitely, I went through like the full grieving process, like sadness, anger, resentment, like, then accepting it at some point and, and then obviously like the influx of every single emotion and every single thought that I had when he finally broke the radio silence, right? And like, oh my gosh. And then there was like rumors before COVID, there was rumors that he was going to do a New Year's show and come back.
Because that was the plan, right? Did COVID even push it back further? Yeah.
It was COVID that pushed it back further. And, we heard rumors that he might be doing a New Year's show and coming back. And we were like, oh shit. And then it didn't happen. And we were like, okay, but they were trying to. So that means he might still come back. Like that means like, then we started to kind of like get hopeful again. And, there was chatter on the Facebook pages and stuff. And, it gave us hope.
Chris Carnes posted a picture of him and Borum, or him and like, so it looked like they were like, I remember Derek was wearing a white hoodie. He definitely looked like, I don't know, he looked good, but I don't know. Yeah. I was almost like, I almost blocked it out. Like I didn't listen to it. I remember there was like if I did throw on Pretty Lights, I'd throw on a couple songs, but it wasn't like, I wasn't going back and listening to live stuff, and I got into like Dead and Co and stuff, but like I wasn't really. So I listened to Grateful Dead a good amount, but like not. Again, music wasn't like get in the car and I'm always listening to it and things like that. So yeah, it really was wild. But yeah, I mean, and then yeah, I guess from there, when it did come back, I almost like still I was excited, but I wasn't like the Mission show came up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like this weekend. And then hearing it and like coming back and remembering songs, I don't know, it meant so much. It was crazy. I was like, I even talked to my buddy. I'm like, this is like what I needed, man. Like, I don't know. And I was kind of in a dark place too. I was like I was engaged and my wedding was coming up and just, yeah, stressed about money and, my position, my current like situation and like, I don't know, comparing myself to other people who haven't figured out more. And here I am like starting a marriage and I'm still like, just, I don't know, haven't really like figured out like a specific good career and stuff. So it's just like scary and just kind of second guessing decisions.
Nobody has their shit really figured
No,
out.
I know.
Dude.
I mean, I'm
you know
just,
what I mean?
yeah.
You can't compare yourself because everybody has their own path, and
Yeah.
it's easy to get down on yourself, especially when
For
you start
sure.
comparing yourself to other people. But like,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, no, everybody. How old is Derek, right? And he, had to cut off his career for his own reasons and stuff, and get his shit together. Like, nah, man, nah.
Like it's obviously I had a fiance and like, and friends and like things in my life that I loved and lived for, but like you almost need that hobby and outlet thing. So like that's what I was saying to my buddy, and I was just I kind of needed this, and yeah, it's been great to have back. Like I feel like everyone has a story to tell how their life evolved during that time.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely use the hiatus as a time to like get right with myself and like focus on my career and everything. And it definitely was a much needed break for my bank account, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was needed in a bunch of ways for sure. And I think we all use that time, or most of us use that time to grow up a little bit and
Yeah.
get our shit together. And I do see and notice like a lot of people have changed and matured and evolved during that time period. And it's cool because we kind of jumped right back into it better than ever because we all used that time to level up.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely, again, going through it sad, but it was definitely needed.
Everything happens for a reason, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then from there, I just labeled this section family reunion.
Hell yeah, man. Yep, that was it. As soon as we heard it was back, we were like, let's fucking go. We're back, baby.
Yeah.
And I think like Jason, that's when Jason reached out to me to like restart the Illuminators and stuff. And like I said, like that first reunion tour, like the first comeback tour, we weren't able to get it started back up in time. So I just kind of, I went to a lot of these shows just as a normie, right? Like a normie fan, and I had a fucking blast. Mission was amazing. It was super needed and therapeutic. Being back in Colorado again and seeing all of my friends and family. I think I have like this awesome picture of me and Jessica and Miguel and Derek Middleton at Mission, and like all of us are just glowing, and we were just everybody smiling ear to ear, and so many happy, relieved tears from all the people that I missed so much, and yeah, it was fucking awesome. Awesome to be back after the chaos of everything that had happened over the past 5 years on hiatus. And all of us just kind of hit the ground running with that. I I think my boss caught on to why I was calling out for a lot of these weekends, like, you know, a couple times a month sometimes. I think Ethan actually, when I told him, because at that point he kind of came into the scene, I didn't know who Ethan was until like the comeback, right? Like I never who knew who he was. He kind of just came out of nowhere, and he was like, you know, are you going to these shows or whatever? And I was like, you know, either yes or no. And he's like, no, you have to come. And I'm like, well, I mean, I want to, but I can't because I have a job, bro. Like I can't call off. And he's like, no, you can, just do it. And I'm like, God damn it, dude. Like I don't have money. I need plane tickets. Like I wouldn't be able to. He's like, my friend is she's a flight attendant for American Airlines. You should come to the Brooklyn show, and she could probably get you a buddy pass for some flights. And I'm like, man, I can't call off. I can't call off again this month for that Brooklyn show. Like I'm gonna get fired. And he's like, no, you won't. They love you there. Just do it. I'm like, yeah, you don't even know me, dude. I don't even have a place to stay. Like, how do you know these things? He's like, I got you. Don't worry about it. So like, fucking, I hit his friend up, and she was awesome. She's like, yeah, I got you on buddy passes. And I'm like, okay, well, I got a flight, but I don't have anywhere to stay. He's like, just stay with me. You're fine. There's like 4 other people staying with me. I'm like, oh shit, okay, cool. So I fucking, for some reason, my boss let me take off one day, and then the next day I was like, I'm just gonna call in sick, right? Like I had it in my head that I was gonna call in sick, and I did it, and it worked, and I didn't get fired, and like I made Brooklyn happen, and you know, I think one of the shows got canceled because it flooded, right?
Yeah.
And
So I
like
was
it
gonna
got
say,
moved.
yeah, I noticed you only had 2 dates of Brooklyn.
Yeah, so I had, because I think it was like Saturday, like a Friday, Saturday, or
Yeah, so they ended up doing Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Monday.
So
Yeah, and the Monday is the show that I missed, right? I don't know if those dates are correct on that list, but I know I missed one of them because I did have to go back to work, unfortunately. But I'm so glad that Ethan talked me into that show, because that kind of, like, I don't know, it made me want to go to more shows, and it kind of showed me that like I could weasel some more days off of my PTO than I thought I could. And it was worth it for sure. Those shows were fucking awesome. I think Atlanta.
Atlanta, how you feeling right about
I mean, obviously Mission was amazing, but Atlanta was really when I was like, yeah, we're back. We are so fucking back. This is what I needed. And I think I cried the hardest there in Atlanta for some reason, because it was just fucking, it was magic and everything that I needed to heal my soul.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I never like had those emotional moments leading, before Hiatus, but definitely night 2, San Francisco. Like I said, I really got into the Dead, and going to my first shows back in San Francisco and getting some of that stuff, and just seeing how these, my life in between, and then my life before kind of merging, and just, I don't know, a little bit, not like bad, but especially night 2 on New Year's Eve this year, kind of just because knowing it was going to be my last shows for a while, and I'm having a daughter, so just like life is just changing. Well, I didn't know I was having a girl at that point, but having a kid, and just everything that I put all this energy I've put in this project, and kind of cleaning up some things in my life, it just all kind of hit me in a moment. But yeah, I mean, it's I think that comes, a lot of those feelings definitely come with time and reflecting your life during, as you've had this a part of your life, and on all the things going on in and outside of it, can definitely hit you.
Oh, for sure.
I wanted to ask this to just express your feels, like, again, not only getting back to it, but in the fashion that it was presented to you. Like, you got Michael back, you got this Swirl Bridge era birth, you got the point cloud and visual elements that were added on, with anti-alias and stuff, like joining
shit,
the team.
and like the drones and stuff.
Yeah, drones and then like, so just,
crazy.
and then like, I know you kind of touched on live stream, but then also catering sets to the vibes of each location, and then the new music. and then all this house swirls, etc. Anything.
The swirls, man. Oh
Yeah,
no, it's all so fucking awesome. It's just like the new evolution of pretty lights. It's that shit is cooler than anybody could have ever imagined. Like there's no way we could have predicted that it would have leveled up in this way, right? Like there's no way. Who thinks of this stuff? It's so fucking cool,
seriously.
and I don't know any other artist that's doing these kinds of shits. Like I've seen drone shows and stuff before for like the Super Bowl and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've not, nah, no, it's awesome. And then like taking song requests, and like just swirling them the way he do. It's awesome. No, it's so fucking cool. Like the new visuals, just this new era taking shape, and it just, I don't know, man, it was it's so cool. It's so cool to see the evolution. I keep saying that word, but
Yeah.
it's the
No, it's true.
evolution, man. It
Yeah.
really is. It's really just keep welcome to the next level over and over and over again.
Seriously. Yeah, you don't I just kept thinking musically how it's going to evolve. And like just shit right in front of your face. It is pretty lights and it's a
Right.
visual experience. Yeah, I mean, on top of that, just, yeah, I really wouldn't have thought that they would, I mean, I think, it was a heavily, jam orientated change, with the break jams, with
Hmm.
Future, and then the flips with the
Right.
Pretty Lights Live. But this just took on a whole extra meaning, and I think it really was good for boosting more of an attention. I mean, not only was it awesome, but maybe this was unintentional, but it really captured a lot of people's interest outside. Like
For sure.
friends of mine who aren't as into, they kind of say Pretty Lights is like hippie shit, because they like more, some of my friends.
Depends on what song you're listening to.
No, I know.
Also give it 5 seconds because it's
I
gonna
know.
change.
They're just lame in that sense, but
Calling it a swirl is like the perfect way to describe
for
what
sure.
he's doing.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, for them, I've showed them some stuff and they're like, what? Like so taken away and surprised. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I don't know. And again, I was touching on San Francisco and all these, starting especially with Atlanta, just each city, it encompassed everything perfectly. And especially just the footage that they took, and the project is so much further than just what goes on stage and then in the Shark Tank. It's massive, and I can just only tip my cap, is they really give a fuck, and it feels good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So,
no, and especially after like not saying anything when they left at all, and then coming back with this, it's like, all right, I forgive you. This is
yeah,
amazing. I
yeah,
forgive you. I don't even
for sure.
remember what happened or why I was upset or sad, because if this is what we get after we waited, then I'd do it again,
For
because
sure.
this is fucking awesome. Like
Yeah,
no, I always say like I picked the right artist to make my obsession and follow around like the world basically. Um,
absolutely.
and yeah, I picked the right one for sure.
100.
Everybody in my, like, not even just the music, but like the community and everything, like
Yeah.
everybody in my, I'd say 95% of the people in my life are from Pretty Lights. Like
Hmm.
my boyfriend I met through Pretty Lights, my best friend Jessica, my best friend Jolie, like all my friends like Tom, Amy, like I'm close with them outside of Pretty Lights.
Hmm.
And we're actual friends, like we talk on the regular, and then we're also able to share like our soul music with each other, and it's like a different level of connection, and it's my favorite thing in the world, and I
Yeah.
love it so much. I love everything about it so much. I love the actual music, I love the vibe, I love the visuals, I love the people. It's just, it's my everything.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. No. So, thank you to all you guys involved.
I just love the direction that it's going, man. I really do. And I'm so grateful for all of the people that I've been able to reconnect with, you know, and especially now that we're all evolved and leveled up, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
able to bring more into our community and our friendships and be more mature about it. And it's just dope. It's fucking
yeah,
dope to like mature with our favorite artists, right?
yeah, yeah. No, I mean it is awesome, and again, I'm grateful that it's come back. Obviously, for like the reasons I touched on before, but also, I mean, starting this whole thing has been, it's been good for me. Like I said, I kind of struggled with like, I never like I had issues with pursuing like things, and when I was younger, just didn't really like care for school as much, and just kind of was focused on things that weren't so important. So this to me has just been, it feels good. I feel like I have like something that's like something I truly like care about, and something that can turn into possible other things, just with my experience in this. So, yeah, I mean, in every way, it's not just about going and listening to music and enjoying the time. Like you said, it's about the people you meet and the connections, and all the feelings associated with it. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I was just gonna say upcoming shows. We got Buena Vista. We got the Elements Festival and Secret Dreams. Are you? I mean, I take it you're probably going to Buena Vista. Anything else on the books for you? You're not going.
I'm not.
Neither am I.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
so sad about it, dude. As much as I love to attend all of Buena Vista and all of the other shows and
Yeah.
Elements and Secret Dreams, like I'm not going to be able to make it, unfortunately, because we just bought a house. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's good. This is a good thing. Like I said, we're all growing up and evolving and, taking next steps in our adult lives. And that's cool, and I think the only thing that's saving me from crying myself to sleep is the live streams. And
Yeah.
I'm super excited for that. I will say though, like I don't think the Illuminators are even going to be able to be at BV because it was such like a huge production for them. I think like management and like on our side too, we're kind of shifting gears within the Illuminators program and management with them having. I mean, it kind of would have been like Bethel, I think, but this is good. It's still going to be different, and it's going to be a pretty big production. And I think what we're going to be doing with the Illuminators is we're going to kind of shift gears with it within the program. And we still haven't had all that, we haven't gotten all that figured out yet. So I think we're going to wait, but we are wanting to obviously have the Illuminators program in any future tours. Um, and I think that we're probably gonna be implementing, like, instead of just Jessica, Jason, or I think we're gonna try and do like regional leads. So that's something we're trying to figure out, which is cool. That will be really helpful. We'll be able to have the Illuminators program at more shows, I think. So we're trying to do that, but since we're restructuring, that's why I don't think we're gonna force Buena Vista to happen before we get that all of that figured out. We are also, I'm super excited about, going to be implementing and integrating kind of like a new program called Swirl Safe. And we kind of did like a soft release of this at New Year's. Um, so Ashley Ingersoll, Cassandra, she's with the Yellowbirds, Katie Marie and Irene Jones, we and myself, we all kind of got together and created like this, it's basically a safe space program for people at shows, not just safety, like staying hydrated and whatnot, but
Yeah, like test kits and shit.
not just that. It's actually more geared towards like physical safety, honestly, at shows, because there kind of has been a lot of people, stories and stuff, unfortunately, within the scene, um, people like getting their drinks spiked and stuff, or people getting like, harassed at shows, or, they don't feel safe and stuff. So there was kind of like this need and void in our community for a program that provides like a safe space for people who are feeling like uncomfortable, or
Yeah.
like they are in a compromised situation that they don't want to be in. So we, started this Swirl Safe program that has, we have drink covers at the Illuminators table. We have like a safe word, like if somebody's with another person that they don't feel comfortable with and they need help or something, they can go up to an illuminator or a designated Swirl Safe person and, ask for help, and kind of low key or incognito ask for help that doesn't, put them in any more danger or escalate the situation. So that program right now is integrated within the Illuminators, but I think at some point it's actually going to be its own program that's taken over by like an outside, like official company. So we're still trying to figure that out too. But I'm really excited about it, and that's just that's kind of that's kind of where my predictions and like wish lists are, more so than um songs and stuff, is
Yeah.
really these programs and how the community is evolving and growing too. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I would love to hear, more Mac Miller, or, these request lines are like so fucking dope.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I've ever heard a song that I didn't love. So whatever they do, I'm going to be like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not, they're the masterminds, right? So like anytime somebody's like, oh, what do you want to hear? I'm like, Pretty Lights.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Pretty Lights.
it's like that kid who had that sign in Augustine that said, "Play whatever the fuck you want."
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
that's my vibe right there. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. I have put in some stuff, but then as the influx of requests has come in, it's like, all right,
Right.
I the likeliness of me getting it, I've had some played, so right there, happy enough. But
Yep.
I mean, great answer. I think I love when I ask people stuff and it goes beyond and outside and totally is a redirection from what I initially thought. So that's great. Honestly, I was gonna say I would like to get, maybe illuminate one night or something, or get involved, but especially if there was because I do like I bar back and I do security at that bar. So like if there was any need for, someone
Yeah,
to
dude, there's always a need. There's always a need. And
yeah,
everybody is welcome.
and I work at a busy one, and I've so we get a lot of traffic and volume. So and it's a very popular place. Like it's like rated one of the best dive bars in the nation. But like so yeah, we get a lot. So like I definitely can know how to be stern, but handle people who are need to be removed or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that's great. Again, another thing that's definitely needed. And I, before I was like I said, I thought, oh, like test kits and stuff like that. But no, there's definitely, I mean, like you said, there can be people, as much as there's a lot of love and generosity and genuine, kindness going on. There's still people who can look at that as something to easily,
Yeah,
manipulate,
man, like an
advantage of.
opportunity to take advantage of a situation,
Exactly.
and there's a need for safety protocols to be in place to help with situations, because it's better to be safe than sorry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's better to have a program like this and be ready to help if a situation arises,
For sure.
because it doesn't happen a lot within the Pretty Lights community, I don't think. Every once in a while, like we'll see somebody that obviously needs help out of the crowd, but like that really does not happen a lot. And we actually a lot of the shows that we have ran the Illuminators program, the security or medics will kind of debrief us in the beginning, and then they'll check back in every single night afterwards. And at the very end of the run, they'll they'll come in and they'll be like, you know, this crowd, this crowd is actually super chill. You know, we had this, and that for, you know, a couple weekends ago, and there were like 5 or 6 people that had to be hauled out on a stretcher because, you know, they've of substances or, you know, a fight or something. And that didn't happen at all this weekend. And you guys are awesome. And it's like, that's why that's why we're here. That's why we do this, to like make sure that everybody is just safe and like having fun, and you know, being a positive part of the community. And like that's my shit right there. Like
For sure.
that's why I do these things with these programs, and I'm involved because it gives me just the most satisfaction to like see the community that I helped build be like a beacon of positivity in a scene that like sometimes can get kind of rough, you know. Makes me proud.
Well, I think it would be great to have that in place because, yeah, I mean, there is a chance that still this could get bigger, and with something getting bigger, you're gonna get more
More people, yeah.
people. And yeah, like I've talked about it before with like the Dead. And you said your boyfriend's a Dead fan, right?
Yeah, dude, he
Yeah.
was so sad when he missed the San Francisco shows, or when he
Uh,
saw those streams, he was like, "What?"
but in the 80s, they had like a music video for Touch of Grey, and then that really just was a huge like drawing. Like it just like, even, I mean, I even met people out here that like they say, oh yeah, I like Grave Dead, I'm not into the music, but I took acid at one of their shows. Like, so it's just bringing more of a party atmosphere, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that, it would be great to have that in place. And then especially when you talk about playing these festivals, when you're going to get a mix of crowds, and just, I mean, festivals, as we all know, was a place for people to rob and steal and
Oh
rip people
yeah.
off and things like that. And then, yeah, I mean, especially just keeping the women safe, because there's a dear. I mean, it's nice to have good friends around you, but there's times where people may be not with people like that, or separated, or just, you know, sometimes it's with somebody they came with.
Right, yeah. You never know, dude. That's why, yeah, it's good to have programs in place for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think that's great. Quickly, so since I'm not going, obviously I'm having a kid, and you're getting a house, I'm trying to do some like live, like podcasting, like I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but like maybe have people come on like shortly before and after. I mean, I might even do some stuff on set break or even during. I think I'm gonna just like film myself so I'd have like reactions or something, not to keep everything, but
Ah, that'd be cool.
if you're interested, I mean, I'd totally be down to have you back.
Yeah,
And
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, no, I think that'd be fun for sure.
Hell
And I mean,
yeah.
if you want to get, you know, if you, I'd love to meet your boyfriend too and stuff, if he's a huge fan and whatnot. And, you know, the more the merrier. I just love like connecting and building through this stuff. And like, yeah, like I don't know. I kind of thought like some people do this with like sports, like, you know, fucking, I don't know if you're familiar with like Barstool Sports, but like, I'm
Hmm.
not, yeah. So they do like reactions of like games. Like, so I think it's kind of cool. Like if we all, like, if you have footage of real-time reactions of songs and things like that, I just think
Oh
it's kind
yeah, I'm
of,
sure I wish I would have had my real-time face reaction to like a lot of the Vegas tracks,
I
because
can't
I
believe
was
you weren't there. Yeah, that's, man, it was great. So
like
like you were saying,
texting.
yeah, you were saying before too, like you missed something and then coming right back up. Like, so I was bummed. Like, I only went to Red Rocks night 2. It was my buddy's bachelor party, and you know, long story, we didn't like try to get tickets night 1, couldn't, didn't want to make all these people like whatever. So I'm literally in Colorado streaming it, and they did like, and I love when they do the like bringing on guest appearances and like Don Lally coming
Mm,
up and Tipper, and
yep.
I was like, fuck, I just missed that. But then
Yeah.
I go to Tahoe, which was, you know, not, it's more so just them up there, but cool special moments, and then Vegas, and like I'm like, okay, I could, you know, I missed that, you know, but I still had
Yeah, like
to
yeah,
this more outdoor stuff.
I miss that stuff, but I did get to see Phil shred on guitar in St. Augustine. Do you know what I mean? Like that was fucking cool.
Yeah. I mean, every stop's gonna have something. So
That's what I'm saying. Like it's you think you missed something, but then like some other cool shit happens. You're like, well, I guess I didn't miss that, so now I'm not mad anymore.
yeah,
And it's like it's always gonna keep happening because it's like the type of artists Pretty Lights is. Like, they're about dope shit. It's a promise.
It's like the norm for artists to tour and kind of play that one show. You know, they have a curated like set.
Yeah,
or
set, and it's rinse and repeat usually.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like that's another thing that I love. It's like, you know, because I've told people that, like, you've seen that so many times they're playing. You're seeing them 3 nights in a row or 2 nights in a row, and I'm like, yeah, nothing the same. And they're like, really?
Even the same songs are not the same.
Yeah, and then on top of that, nothing's the same. The rest of this, like if they played it, you know, in St. Augustine, then they play it at New Year's, like that's not going to, you know, be the same. And on top of that, there's plenty of songs that don't get played. So, you know, a shitload.
Yeah, the freaking the discography and like just like the there's so much shit that he still like all the listen catalog. Like, he has shit from there that they could play and swirl in or even rewrite completely and just like have that layered in somehow. Like, there's so many options, and it's just none of it is ever the same. He could play the exact same song like one night, play the same song the next night, and it's not going to be the same. It's just not. Like, it's different every time, and that's why I love it.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. They're like little fingerprints. Each song is a fingerprint.
Yeah.
And
some of these evolve, like some of the unreleased new shit from the return, they've just evolved. Every time you hear it, it's different, and it just keeps like going. So
building.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I think that'll do it. You got anything else? All right.
I think so.
Okay. Well, this will conclude this episode of Trip Through Time. As time goes by, memories never die. And we got a lot to thank to this one for all the memories of the Pretty Lights family. And obviously, you know, you're, like I said, as OG gets there. So thank you for just sharing all that stuff. I mean, it's been really cool getting to know you. And
thank you.
You know, I just really like, beyond just, you know, being a part of this, but like starting the Pretty Lights family and then being involved with the Illuminators, and then just still some things to come. I think that's great. So appreciate you.
Super excited for the future, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and just like shout out to everybody, all the fam, all my Illuminators, all my friends, the whole crew, the band, management. Just like I am so grateful to be a part of this whole community. And it's dope as fuck. Thank you for doing this. I think this is super important to like have the lore and the stories out there, because this is something special. And and it's important, and I wish more bands did this, like more fan communities did this for more bands, because it's really cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, I mean, that's like a cool way, not only present, you know, in the present days, but I think down the road, it's, I don't know, like I think about one thing that was like motivating me to start this was, you know, no matter what happens, if people like it or not, like these are like, you know, when people have passed away in the past, not to get dark, but just give me a second. Like, you know, at funerals, it was just maybe one portrait of someone, and then like a couple, and like a couple like picture collages. And now it gets to the point when you have a lot of that, but even now video, but like the video that people kind of have on themselves may be a little more towards like, you know, it's happening. And even though we know this is happening, this is like how people talk. And like, this is kind of a window to your, you know, people like your kids and things like that, to kind of just get a glimpse of who you are and who you were. So like, that's kind of one thing that I was like, well, at the end of the day, I'm making memories. And then that kind of turned into a bit of the theme with it, you know, just like, you know, these are cool moments and things that happen. And it's nice to, you know, get everything in one place. But I'm not only a fan of the music and the band, but I'm a fan of the fans too. And so
Same.
Yeah,
it's super dope. I love it so much.
Yeah. All right, well, that'll do it. So I appreciate you. Thank you everyone for listening, and you know, looking forward to what's to come. So
hell yeah, thank you.
Nobody can stop your progress, 'cause unknown forces move somehow. That's magic.
fly to the